Fran Lebowitz hasn't published a new book since 1994 and swears the novel she's been writing for 45 years will never appear. Yet she remains one of America's sharpest, most quoted social critics. Her entire adult output fits into one slim volume, The Fran Lebowitz Reader, 2 essay collections from the late 1970s, Metropolitan Life and Social Studies, plus a fake children's book that feels like a prank. Total page count: barely 200. You can read everything she has allowed into print in one afternoon. People have been quoting her for half a century anyway. She arrived in New York in 1969 at 19, armed with a taxi license, a man's suit, and the conviction that most human activity is a mistake. By 1978, she had perfected a voice that was dry, aphoristic, and lethal in a single paragraph. Great people talk about ideas, average people talk about things, small people talk about wine. There is no such thing as inner peace. There is only nervousness and death. Children do not really need parents, they need hostile witnesses. Reading her then felt like hearing someone finally say out loud what everyone else muttered on the subway. Her cruelty was never random. It was diagnosis. New York is her only real subject. The city is protagonist, villain, and unreliable narrator. She chronicled its 1970s squalor, 1980s cocaine renaissance, and 21st century transformation into a luxury mall for oligarchs with the weary resignation of a native who watched her neighborhood get gentrified by people who think grit is a gift shop candle scent. Her verdict has not changed in 50 years. New York was once a place where talent could live cheaply and eccentricity was free. Now only money is free, and eccentricity is curated by marketing departments. When you leave New York, she likes to say, you are astonished at how clean the rest of the world is. The line works as boast and elegy at the same time. She is left-wing in the old, cigarette-smoking, civil liberties way, but politics bores her. Her true subject is behavior. Smoking bans, cell phones in theaters, tourists walking four abreast, people who say, no problem, instead of you're welcome. These are, to her, symptoms of civilizational collapse. In the age of performative outrage, she is too disdainful to cancel anyone and too indifferent to trends to care what is trending. In 1993, after 15 years of silence, she published Mr. Chaz and Lisa Sue Meet the Pandas, a so-called children's book about 2 7-foot-tall Manhattan kids who befriend complaining pandas on Fifth Avenue. Mr. Chaz and Lisa Sue were rich, thin, and intelligent, which is to say, everything children are not. It was a joke on publishers begging for any new manuscript. No actual child has ever enjoyed it, and it became a cult hit among adults who recognized the voice immediately. Since the early 1990s, she has earned her living by talking, sold out one-woman shows where audiences pay to watch her sit in an armchair, smoke when allowed, and complain for 90 minutes. Martin Scorsese filmed the act twice, Public Speaking, 2010, and the series Pretend It's a City, 2021. Both are just Fran being Fran, interrupting, digressing, and occasionally landing a line so exact that the only honest response is nervous laughter. Rereading the old essays now is eerie. In 1978, she foresaw digital clocks driving us crazy, wellness culture, health food makes me sick, and appliances that beep instead of ring. This is progress, she asked, 47 years ago. Today our appliances talk back and harvest our data. Her decades-long writer's block is the most famous in American letters. She blames the city's changes, indoor smoking bans, computers, fame, perfectionism, everything and nothing. The simpler truth may be that she said everything essential in her 20s and has spent the rest of her life proving that voice was unrepeatable. Yet the voice endures. New generations discover her the way earlier ones found Dorothy Parker or Mark Twain, through stray quotes, late-night appearances, or a friend pressing the reader into their hand saying, "You have to read this." Her cultural footprint is gigantic, her bibliography tiny. She never really wrote about American culture. She performed an exorcism on it, one perfect sentence at a time. The patient is still sick, the sentences are still perfect, and the exorcist, bespoke suit, cowboy boots, permanent expression of controlled fury, shows no sign of retiring. In a country that speaks in memes and corporate euphemism, her refusal to say anything she does not mean feels less like style and more like moral necessity. That is why people still line up to hear an elderly woman in a man's jacket complain about the temperature of the room. Sometimes complaint, delivered with enough style, is the highest form of patriotism.